And what blew my mind the most is that I've watched about 100 videos on hair transplants, and no one apart from 2 people mentioned the 2 things I just talked about, which blows my mind. Like, why is no one talking about the fact that it's so itchy? Hey tribe, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Andree. If you haven't been here before, hi, welcome. My video today is going to be another chit chat video about my hair transplant. It's been 3 months, 3 whole months have gone by since I've had it. I'm finally seeing some growth. And as usual, I am going to put some videos on like a side of this video so that you can see what I mean. If you would like to have more updates, more of me, more of just everything, because I don't always have the time to do YouTube anymore. It just isn't as big as a priority as it used to be, but I have made a promise to myself to give you guys updates on YouTube in depth about my hair transplant, so that it's just always there for anyone that wants to know about it. Yeah. So now I'm on month 3. I can definitely say that this is becoming a lot more easier, and to be honest, it became a lot more easier like month 2, like coming up to like week 9, 10. I was still experiencing a lot of itching, and I still experience itching, but I want everyone to take into consideration that I have a dry, itchy scalp anyway. I have quite an itchy scalp. I flake all the time, so I already anticipated that my scalp was going to be highly irritated, because it's irritated anyway. I think I'm itching like I used to itch, so I'm back to my normal sort of itching, which I used to have. Like, I've already got a sensitive scalp. I've always had a sensitive scalp. It is what it is. I think it's a mild, if I remember correctly, I've got a mild form of dermatitis, but you know, it can be handled with over-the-counter stuff, as long as I just wash my hair as frequently as I can, which is every week. So I'm back to that now. Month 1 and month 2 were a complete nightmare, and you probably would have seen that in the videos. I did not know that my scalp could feel the way it felt. It was on fire. It was really traumatic, if I'm really honest, because there were moments when I used to take off my wig in the salon, go to the toilet and run cold water on my head and then slap aloe vera on it, because my scalp literally felt on fire. And the thing is, the parts that were itching were also in pain. So my donor area was the most itchy part, but it was like stinging and itchy at the same time. And if I scratched it, I felt pain, but then I felt relief. I don't know what that feeling is, but I don't ever want to feel it again. So that was like the worst thing. And anytime I laid down, so if I lay down to sleep, I would have 10 minutes of this intense itchy feeling, and I would literally have to sit on my hands to avoid the itch, and then it would suddenly disappear. But for 10 minutes I would feel tortured. If I laid my head down on the pillow at night, the same thing would happen. If I popped my wig on, the same thing would happen. If I took my wig off, the same thing would happen. If I had a shower, the same thing would happen. If I washed my hair, the same thing would happen. And at one point I wanted to just cut my head off and throw it in the bin, because it was nonsense. Like after that, I was like, listen, when is this going to get better? And even it took me not having had it for like a week to realize it was gone, because I was always waiting for it to come back. And it got to a point where I couldn't even pat my head because my head was so sore. So, and nothing, and I mean nothing, all the tactics that you probably would have come up with to help soothe the scalp did not work. The only thing that worked for me was aloe vera. And I showed you the bottle that I used. That was the only thing that helped, and it had to be ice cold. But again, even when I put that on, it stung for like a minute or two, and it will happen. And the thing is, without the aloe vera, the itchy session would be about half an hour to an hour. If I forgot it and I didn't take it to work and I will have an itchy session, it will last about half an hour. But once I use the aloe vera, 10 minutes max. But like I said, to me that was torture. The whole ordeal just, it literally blew my mind. The next thing happened was from like month 2, I got really bad head acne, I'm gonna call it. Now these spots were so painful. I never got little spots that weren't painful. They were red, they were big, and they were pussy, and they would come up, and it felt like ingrown hairs. And yeah, they were just absolutely horrible. I did my best and I didn't pop them, but some of them were so painful that the only thing you could do was relieve it by literally gently like popping them a little bit, or putting a topical cream on it to settle it down, because they were so painful. Like it almost had its own heartbeat. And what blew my mind the most is that I've watched about 100 videos on hair transplants, and no one apart from 2 people mentioned the 2 things that I just talked about, which blows my mind. Like, why is no one talking about the fact that it's so itchy? Are you guys not feeling the itch? Why is no one talking about it? Why is no one talking about the fact that your head itches? Why is no one talking about the fact that you get head acne that feels like ingrown hairs? Riddle me that, please. I want to know, because only one person, and yeah, literally, it was a lot. 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 I do wear my hair out. I don't wear a headscarf at the moment, and I am also sleeping on a silk pillow or silk pillows until my hairline is back. So I'm not going to be wearing anything on my head, attached to my hair. Just because I wear wigs during the day, I feel like my head should be free and not with anything during the night. So I have consulted with my doctor, who's okayed everything and told me as long as I wear my wigs more than I wear, as long as I wear my wigs less than I leave my hair out, I should be fine. The balance should be cool. On the days when I'm not working and I'm at home, which is a lot of the time, I just have my head out. I'm bald and proud in my house and patchy and just live my life. So for me personally, I feel like I wear the wig wearing is very small. It's not something that I do all the time, and I speak of this because when I put my videos out on TikTok, on Instagram, or anything, one of the few questions that come up is your hair able to breathe with a wig on? Now I have seen somebody, I went and I spoke with the people at Longevita to let me know if this was possible, and from what they told me, this is something that I could do. But for me, this literally is a protective style, and it's to protect people from seeing my hair in the state that it is, because it's just not the way I would like to carry myself. And I like wearing wigs. I think they are an extension of myself at the moment. I can't wait to wear my hair out again, because that's where I feel most comfortable. But like I said, like I've been practicing safe hair, wearing my hair in a way that is safer for me, and it has worked for a really long time. The only thing that really I felt was holding me back was my alopecia. So month 3 for me has been a breeze. It just feels like I'm getting on with the journey. I started seeing growth maybe around week 11, and I am now 14 or 15 weeks. So I am like maybe a week over. The way the weeks are working out is that it's a little over 13, 14 weeks, but technically I'm exactly 3 months as of this week, and I'm now filming and it's a Sunday. So I have also just, the moment I saw that hair grow in, and the first sign of that was actually my sideburns coming back in. Now I didn't have alopecia in my sideburns, but even the areas where I had hair before were really slow to grow in. So I do want people to take into consideration that when they shave down your whole head, They don't necessarily shave down only the parts that have the alopecia. They shave everything, and then they put and then they do the transplant. I know that there is an option called DHI, whereby you can literally pinpoint where you want to fill in, and they do it with a little pen, and they transplant specific hairs in that area. And though that was something that I researched, I didn't have enough research about it, so I didn't really look into it that much. I was more set on getting the FUE transplant, and I knew that most of the time they shave off everything clean, and then they start off and then they put hair there. So one of my main worries in the beginning was I hope that the density at the front doesn't reflect the density around the rest of my head. But because that area was so fine anyway, because of my postpartum shedding, and I just felt like my density was way off, and because also, like I said to you guys before, I also had hereditary alopecia, which I think is called androgenic alopecia. I'm not sure, I'll put the name down below. But because of that, I still have to sort of continue a journey with a trichologist to see what can be done, because I'm not sure of what that is, and I know that my mum has it, so I definitely know it's hereditary. I don't know what that looks like, so rather than doing a hair transplant there and then in a year or so the transplant area drops out, I wanted to see a specialist to see what that was about, and I will take you on that journey when I do it. At the moment, I am concentrating on my hairline and making sure it's as full as possible. So one of the things I wanted to also talk about is the fact that I am indeed carrying on with my PRP treatments. The PRP treatments are something that I did speak about in my first video, where I said that I was going to upkeep with them. I did mention that it was going to be something that I was going to put at the forefront of this whole journey. I believe if you are going to do any sort of surgery, if you're going to do a transplant, anything of the sort, apart from the surgery, you do have to upkeep. I've watched a ton of videos which say, you know, you might have to take minoxidil, you might have to take other things to make sure that you are on top of your hair transplant, and to make sure that you are always on top of the growth. And for me, it's going to be things like never doing braids ever again in my life. I don't care if there are, I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to do braids. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. The most you'll see me have is a flat twist, because I just feel like there's certain things, once you've had an operation or once you've tried to fix something, you should never go back to. So for me, it's going to be that. And which is quite hard, because I do love braids, but I just don't think that some of these knotless braids are not so knotless, and they still tend to be quite heavy, and I just don't want to risk it. I've spent 3 months, I've spent 10 years being unhappy with my hairline. I spent 3 months like on a journey to fix it, and I just don't see myself going back and doing something like that again. And plus, knowing what I know now as a hairdresser, and a well-seasoned one of what, 12, 13 plus years, I know what extensive tight braids and tight hairstyles do to us. It's the number one reason why we are losing our edges. And it doesn't matter whether it happened 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Castor oil is not going to save you if you are not doing the things to stop it from happening. Like, those things are not going to help. Sometimes you have to do something as drastic as a hair transplant. Sometimes you have to, you know, try and fix it by leaving it alone, and letting it just get some air. Sometimes, if the follicles are not dead, you can do other things, which I'm not quite sure what they are right now, but you can do other things. For me, some of it is my fault, some of it isn't, a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is just unfortunately genetics for me, and also giving birth. So in the whole thing, I am definitely proud of myself for doing the PRP treatments. I did the PRP treatments at Late Night Beauty Salon in Peckham. It is a place where I feel really comfortable, and like I said, I would have done, if I lived in Turkey, or if Turkey was closer by, I probably would have flown and got it done every month. But finding a place here in the UK seemed more feasible, and I did a little bit of research. I found a place, and then an opportunity came up, and I managed to and I found out that my aesthetic salon, late night beauty salon, does it as well. So of course, because I trust them already, it was just easy to get it done there. So I have already had my first PRP treatment, and it was a little bit stingy. I'm not gonna lie, like, it was a little bit stingy. And PRP treatments are just to help stimulate growth and just to help promote growth and help along the hair transplant area. I had a PRP treatment already when I had my hair transplant in on the first day. So they do give you a PRP treatment to help promote growth and, you know, help make sure that you're going to get the best results that you can get. And so when I spoke to my surgeon after, and I spoke to the team, I was advised to keep doing them. So I did say that I was going to start doing them from 3 months onwards, and because I'm 3 months post now, it was a great time to do it. So I did it the first week after my 3 month post transplant day. And yeah, like, I did it in my transplant area, I also did it in my donor area, and then I also did it in my thinning area, which wasn't touched by anything. And the reason why I did it in those 3 areas is the back and the front, I'm sure are going to grow the way they're going to grow, but I wanted to really see the results in my thinning area, because that's the bit where I will really see if the PRP has worked for me. I'm going to do 3, so once a month I'm going to go and get PRP treatments with Ruby, and then I will see how that goes. But I probably will upkeep this for the rest of the year, because this year I'm definitely concentrating on getting my hair to a point where I'm really happy with it. I may probably stay natural as well for a minimum of 18 months, because especially after speaking to the team at Longevita, I don't think that doing chemicals, colouring or anything like that within the first year would be a wise thing to do. And then I just want to add an extra 18 months. Once I hit 18 months, I will decide what I really want to do with my hair. And I have been natural all of my life, so it's not really a thing. But the thing that's really irking me right now is that I want a pixie cut, you know? And I'm not desperate for it right now, but I've always envisioned myself with a pixie cut when I'm old and rusty. So, but I've also imagined myself with a really cute bob, you know? A really nice bob, and it's all my hair. I've always wanted that with a full hairline. That's what I've always wanted for myself, and I will get it. So right now my aim is to grow my hair to a nice length bob in its natural state, probably get a texture release somewhere down the line, but that's my aim. So I'm going to embrace being natural for the time being, and hopefully around month 9 my hairline will be full enough for me to kind of cut it down to a level where I'm happy and wear my hair out. So that's like the aim. But again, I'm not holding my breath until month 12, and I'm only 3 months in, so I've got a whole 9 months to really be on this journey. So I've got a lot of wigs. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens there. One thing that I did notice around day 30, I think like maybe like after I scabbed over, about 3 weeks in to about 2.5 months in, the transplant looked like it wasn't working. Like, it actually looked like it was a complete fail. But I did, again, through my research, I knew that what that was, and it was shock loss. And my surgeon and my interpreter did say to me that there will be a point where the area just, you will lose all the hair. All the little hairs that you saw initially with the transplant will all drop out. So they will kind of grow and they will drop off, and then you will see your new growth come in around 3 months or around 4 months, and sometimes even 5 months. So I've just started seeing that hair now. But one thing that I want to also remind people is that I wasn't completely bald all over. There was hair there. So the hair that is coming through, some of it is hair that was there before, but I'm also looking at areas where I knew there was no hair. So that's what I'm most happy about, because I can see a little piece of growth in the places that I know have not seen even a grain of hair for years. And they may be small, but I can see them, and I'm quite happy about that. But again, like I said, this journey is so slow. It is a journey that, though I'm assuming it's going to be so rewarding at the end of it, because I've had so many people, so much love from people on TikTok telling me how amazing the growth is. I know that it's a slow one. One thing I have is patience. So I'm just riding it out, I'm waiting it out, I'm patiently waiting, and I'm not really thinking about it. I check my hair maybe once a week. I just make sure that I wash it. I make sure that I moisturize the areas that can be moisturized, but I practically just leave it alone. I leave it alone, and I'm just concentrating on making my wigs look fabulous and me looking fabulous, and that's about it. Another thing that I want to mention is that I've been sleeping with a silk pillow, so I've just had my hair out. I wear my wigs only to go to work or if I'm going out, but the majority of the time my hair is out. I don't wear a headscarf to bed, I just have a silk pillow, and yeah, I feel like that's contributed to my hair growing. Like I said, I've really been a little bit absent on YouTube because, do you know what, there's only so much I can do. Like, this social media stuff is a lot, and I am going to probably do videos on here like once a month, but if you want to see me, come on over to TikTok, come on over to Instagram, because that's where I live, and it's so easy to put content up on there. It's a little bit harder here because I like to edit and stuff like that, and it's a lot. So that's it for this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that, you know, you've got all the information you need. Again, if you want to know anything more, just head over to the rest of the videos and you'll have all your questions answered. Oh, the English is really leaving me. So yeah, if you want to know anything more about the transplant, again, you can just hop into my DMs. I answer questions all the time. Thank you for the love I've been receiving on this journey. I'm really glad that you guys feel like I'm giving enough information and I'm going into detail. But again, I feel like my year review will be a really long one because it's going to be a big recap. I'm going to talk about everything and round off everything. And my next video on this is going to be my 6-month review, which hopefully will mean that I will have more growth, and hopefully I will have a little bit more to tell you about how I feel about my PRP treatments and what the results of that look like. So yeah, anyway, I hope you've liked this video, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.